We are live here on YouTube. Welcome to Thursday night here on December the 10th, 2020. We're live here on youtube.com on the Edward Fowler Show. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. We're in December, the last month. Where has the whole year gone? I was looking back the other day at some of the guests I've interviewed on this show over the past year, and some of them, it doesn't feel like I interviewed them this year. It felt like I've interviewed them last year or 2 years ago. So it's a mind-blowing year, but we are happy that we've got another great person on our first MMA fighter of the year. By the way, I don't know why I've not had any MMA fighters on the show this year, but I thought, well, let's end the year on a high, and let's bring on somebody new and from a different background as well, because the last time I had an MMA fight on the show, it was from the UFC, so I've gone to the Bellator this time. This is great, isn't it? So I'm hoping I get this correct now, because I practiced it with my guest a few minutes ago. So it is Ty Gwerder. Welcome to my show. He's currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Well, he was on the show, and for some reason, we lost him. It's now showing. I think it's because your camera's off. I think that's why. So if you turn your camera back on, I think that's why we can't see you. There you go. There we go. Now we can see you. Welcome to the show officially. I don't think anybody heard what you said.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you guys having me on today.
Yeah, you're welcome, and we appreciate you for coming on the show because you know you're a great a great fighter to say, actually, not boxer, and you're in the middleweight division in the Bellator, and you took 9 months off as well until your first fight back in September of this year. Was that meant to happen, or was that because of the COVID situation and such like that, and your camera's gone off again?
Yeah, it was all because of COVID. I mean, I wish we could have got back earlier. We were looking to have my return back in I think it was April. Oh no, I'm sorry, April. We were trying to get back on in April. I know Bellator had a card over in Chicago, and I was really hoping to get on that. And then COVID happened, so I ended up just taking some time off. And as soon as they got the word to start making fights happen again, I had my manager give them a call and told them I'm ready whenever they're ready to get me on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. Now, unfortunately, to my viewers here on YouTube, all they can see is the Skype logo, because again, we're using Skype, ladies and gents, to do these shows on. And you can hear my guest, but you can't actually see him at the moment. But at least you can hear you. That's the main thing. So you meant to come back in April, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So your first fight back was back in September, and I believe, I could be wrong, but you had a good victory in that fight, didn't you? In that first fight back after 9 months, you won. I believe this is from my sources. Again, my sources, the internet isn't always correct, so please feel free to correct me if you did lose. But according to my sources, you won that fight in September, and then you had another fight in October, which unfortunately you did lose in that fight. What did you learn from that fight and from your opponent, which you can take into your next fight, whenever that may be?
Well, it was one of those things where going into the fight in October, a lot of things happened. It was one of those things where I've been, my coaches tried to kind of talk me into, it didn't really talk me into trying to pull out, but most people would have pulled out of that fight, considering all the things that happened leading up to fight date. Like our gym shut down for a week and a half prior to me leaving for the fight, so I didn't get to train almost the last 10 days.
Oh wow.
I didn't really do anything. All I did was run leading up to the last 10 days up to the fight, because I had no training partners. My coaches, we had a COVID outbreak in our gym, so the gym shut down. And I also injured myself at the beginning of camp. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but I decided, hey, I'm already, I asked for this fight. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go against my word and pull out of this fight. So even with the injury, I wasn't about to pull out. I had no coaches flying out there, and we found a coach that could actually make it out there 2 days after I got there. So one of my wrestling coaches, he was one of the only ones that didn't have COVID. So we decided, hey, like I'm gonna have to fly you out because I got nobody here for me, and I was about to go and fight without anybody.
Yeah, I get you.
But moving forward, I think I learned a lot. It was one of those things where it's the fight game. A lot of things happen, a lot of unexpected things happen leading up to a fight, and I think moving forward, there's just a little bit of things that I need to work on, and I think that will help me get back in the win column.
Absolutely, of course you did. The fight I'm talking about, which you lost back in October, was of course Dalton Rosta. He was a great opponent for you, wasn't he? And at the end of the day, he may have took the victory, but of course you can still have your head held wide because of course you've got 5 wins, only 2 losses, and I believe, again, this is from my sources. This is what I've seen and researched before I interviewed you. Both of those losses came from decisions. You weren't knocked out, you weren't TKO'd, you weren't submitted. So basically, you can still say nobody has knocked you out, nobody has made you tap out so far. So that still is very good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really disappointed that I'm 5-2. I started out 4-0, 5-0, and it's one of those things where I'm like, it stings. It really stings to be like. I don't even know what my record is. What am I? 6-2, 5-2.
You're 5-2. That's from what I've seen. Again, I could be completely wrong, so don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I think it's 5-2. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So I'm really upset that I'm 5-2. Like I was expecting myself to be, have much more wins than I do losses. Like if I lose again, I'm almost at 500. And I know I'm much better than 5-2. I believe that I should be. Was that 7? I should be 7-0. Honestly, that's how I feel. Those 2 losses that I took, I believe I beat myself in those fights, and those were very winnable fights. I'm not taking any credit away from my opponents because they were, they beat me. It was their night. But I think those are 2 fights that I could definitely get back. And moving forward, I'm gonna push my hardest to not get any more losses. I wanna start making a big take a big win here coming back, and I wanna get a couple wins put together and start making that title run.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about, and not just about getting a title one, but also getting your name out there more, telling people that you are the man to beat, kind of thing. That you want the belt, and that you are the man who's going to take the belt away, and that will help you to get more attention to yourself and to other people as well. Because the more people know about you, the better it will lift you into the next stage, into the next step, kind
definitely.
of thing.
Yeah. So to me, it's more important to me to get wins, but also put on really outstanding shows. Like I want to make this stuff. Like I want people to watch me. I want them to be like, damn, this kid.
Look at this camera again. Look at this phone to say.
I'm really not enjoying doing a podcast in my truck. But I want to make my fights exciting. I want Bellator to think of my name and be like, yes, he's gonna put on a show every time he fights, regardless who it is. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to chase after a belt. I'm chasing after money fights and being entertaining. The belt is just a cherry on top, man. That'll look good when I'm just trying to knock everybody out. Like I have 100%.
You do, and I think you've won. I think all your 5 fights. It could be. The ones you've won. You've won, I think, by knockout. I think that's what I've read. So that is very impressive, and you're very unstoppable. Because we had on a few other people who've done all their fights when they've been in, and they've just done a knockout. So it means, how did you learn the knockout scoring then? How did he get so powerful in your knuckles? And was that through your trainers? Because I know you've had a lot of different trainers, because you've also said that you want to learn from as many people as possible. So as those people influence you into getting your power of the knockouts really good, better than your other strengths?
It's like my coaches, they work really hard with me being very accurate. I don't miss a lot of punches, I'm accurate when I throw my punches. I don't throw punches just to throw them, or kicks for that matter. Like, even if they're blocked, they're gonna hurt. So we work on me being very precise and having very good fight IQ to where I can pick my opponents apart standing up. I don't get hit often. Dalton was the first opponent to actually hit me in the face as much as anyone compared to everybody else. And that being said, still wasn't even a much. I say he probably landed a dozen punches. But yeah, we work really hard at me being very accurate, and I know I hit hard. I'm strong. I'm freakishly strong for my size, and I know if I land the right one, it'll put most people down.
Yeah. Well, I am really hoping that you can land some more hard-hitting punches to get some more wins for you. Because I know that's what's important at the end of the day. Wins make you to the title race, and again, more money. I'm guessing you get for knockouts and such like that when you win. But I mean, like, speaking about this, do you know who you want to face next? Is there a few contenders you're thinking of facing, or who the Bellator want you to face, or any other leagues you may be involved in want you to face next?
I'm gonna be with Bellator for a while, as long as they're willing to keep me around. I don't plan to leave. I'm not looking at going to the UFC or anything. Like, Bellator takes great care of me, and I think I can get my opportunity to shine there. But as far as calling anybody out, if I had won my last fight, we had a name. But since that has happened, since I lost, I'm not gonna make any names. But to be honest, anybody they want to put in front of me, I'm willing to put on a show, and I'm willing to take up the challenge. Anything can happen in this sport, and anybody could beat me. I could beat anybody. So I think moving forward, anybody you want to put in front, I'm gonna make it fun.
Indeed, and it does prove that we are live here on YouTube. Mike, fully love, welcome to the show, by the way. I did respond to you in the comments. I think you might have thought this is a pre-recording, but it's not. We are actually live here, 100% live. Now then, you're in the middleweight now. If you get the chance to become the champion and you get to defend that championship, the title belt for many months, and then you, at some point, do lose it, would you then go up in the ranks? So if you dominated the middleweight, you want to go into the next weight and kind of thing, etc., etc., or will you just stay in the middleweight division in the Bellator?
I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I'm not big enough to be light heavyweight, and I know me dropping down to 170 would be one of those things where I don't think my body will be able to handle the weight cut going down to 170, because even at 185, those last couple pounds, it does take a little bit of a toll on me. Like, they're easy weight cuts. I've told everyone that before. They are very easy, but that last 2 or 3 pounds don't like to come off very easily for me. So as far as staying in division, I probably will do that. I want to be very dominant in this division, and even then, I think this is the best. I don't want to jeopardize my health for another challenge. To be honest, like, I'd rather be here and just keep putting on good fights, and as long as my body's able to keep going, I'm gonna keep doing that and stay here.
Yeah, absolutely. And many people don't know this as well, because you're only 26, aren't you? So you're still in your 20s. You're still quite young. I mean, you've still got a long career ahead of you, so I don't blame you for that either, by the way. So we are looking forward to the next challenger, and I'm sure when it's announced, you'll publicly announce it on your social media. Now, I know, I think it was yesterday or the day before, you posted a fight which you're interested in seeing as well, aren't you? Because if I'm quickly going on your profile here, it's like I'm stalking your profile. I'm not actually stalking your profile. You shared in your story yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, it was yesterday, that you were looking forward to this fight from the UFC coming up on January the 23rd. It's Antonio Carlos Jr. is fighting, and it's Brad Tavares. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, Brad Tavares.
Fight. What's got you interested in that fight?
Well, first of all, Brad, I grew up with Brad, so he's been my mentor throughout my career. He trains here with me at Extreme Couture in Vegas, and it's his first fight since coming back from ACL, full reconstruction surgery on his ACL, and you know, he's been hanging around the top 15 for years now, and you know, he's fought, you know, four champions of the middleweight division, and you know, he's strung up a whole bunch of wins leading up to those fights. He's fought Israel Adesanya, he's lost that. He fought Yoel Romero, lost that. Robert Whittaker, and lost that. That's 3 champions, and 3 very dominant champions, you know. And I'm looking forward to his return. You know, me and him push each other every day, day in and day out, and it hurts for me to not be able to train with him this camp because I'm injured. But you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him make a comeback, and I think that's a fight that he can be very dominant in, and you know, maybe even get a knockout, and that'll be amazing to see.
It will be. It'll be a great knockout for one of the first shows of the new year in 2021 in January. And, you know, Tuck Tours as well means I'm guessing you're going to be rooting for him because he's your homie, he's one of your best friends, that are going to say, hey, you're quite tight with him. So, of course, you'll be rooting for him, of course. But now you just mentioned about an injury you've got. So what is your injury, and did you pick that up during that October fight then, did you? Or afterwards?
Yes. I actually got it 4.5 weeks before the fight.
Wow, you actually fought through the pain and through the injury to make sure that your fans get to see you try and get an upset on. You know, that is good credit to you, you know, for doing that, because you could just, you know, pulled out and thought, I can't risk this because it might risk my career, but you did not do that. You didn't let your fans down. You just went in there and did what you could do.
Yeah, so like the whole thought process of it happening, so like the day it happened, it was, so I fought in September. I took a week off, and that week after, literally that third day of practice, after we accepted the fight, I ended up rolling my ankle, and it dislocated. I popped out and dislocated. I thought it was fine. I was like, all right, pop it back in. We're good. I'll give it a day of rest tomorrow, and we'll get right back to practice.
Jesus, man.
I put some tape on it, put a wrap on it, and I was like, all right, we got whatever 4.5 weeks left of fight camp. I'm not pulling out. Like, it's fine. I can walk. It's cool. We got the X-ray because the swelling didn't go down it didn't go down at all camp. So we got the X-ray, and thankfully nothing was broken.
That's good.
We were gonna get the MRI, but I was like, hey, like, nothing's broken. That's all that matters to me. I didn't really think about all the other damage. I figured I can walk, I can kick, I can barely kick, but it's fine. I'm not going to pull out anyway. So I knew it was messed up, but I didn't realize how bad it was. Got into the fight. Literally, the first kick I threw, I felt a pop in my ankle again. And I was like, that's not good. Like, I didn't like that whatsoever. So the second kick I threw it again. I was like, all right, screw it. Let's throw it again, see how it feels. And second one, it ended up going numb. My whole leg went numb.
Oh my!
And it probably, I'd say 3/4 of the fight, my left leg, my leg was completely numb.
Oh wow! Crikey.
So yeah, that was the whole fight. And then we got the MRI the week after I got back, and turned out I tore everything except for my Achilles.
Wow. So it means, how long have you got to now rest and let your foot recover from that awful injury you suffered there? Because I'm hoping it won't be too long before we see you back in the in the cage.
Yeah. Doctor says it's usually 4-month recovery process. So I've been in the boot for 3 weeks now. I'll be in the boot for maybe hopefully another 3 weeks at most, and then I should be starting physical therapy to start the year. And I believe we'll go from there. I'm hoping that I can get in there no later than April. As soon as they give me the clearance to get fully back into training, I'm talking about trying to get something booked as soon as possible.
Yeah. Now, I tell you this one thing as well, because you know other fighters don't usually have a fight in September and then quickly another fight the month after. It's very rare. But you know, all credit to you for just bringing as many fighters who you want to fight against as soon as possible. You know, you are a madman who feels no pain, and all credit to you. And we wish you a speedy recovery as well. Because hopefully you can beat the doctor's target and get back in there quicker than 4 months. Because that'd be great. Because of course, as I say, every heals differently, don't they? So that'd be great. Now, of course, as well, we would love to see you live in the UK at some point in the future. Hopefully, maybe next year, maybe end of next year, maybe early 2022.
I'd love to fight out there at some point.
But we hope you get to come over here and perform in front of the UK fans and feel the war and the passion of the UK fans in the Bellator or wherever else. Who knows? We may want to pick you up, but I mean, it'd be great to see you over here, and you know, I'm sure you'll put on a performance for all of the UK fans, even though they might not like you though, because they might just boo you, because depending who you face, they might boo you. But I won't be booing you because you've been on the show, so I'm sure all my loyal viewers will not boo you either.
I like the idea of fighting in enemy territory, so it'll be even better.
You know, it could happen. You never know who may book it. You know, because usually you get them, don't you? Where you get the hometown, you know, the home country against, you know, a foreign person from America or from Brazil, bizarre, wherever. So and they usually boo them, don't they? They always cheer for the home person and boo the outsider. But you know,
yeah, I respect it.
But we can agree though that your home country flag has got the Union Jack on it, so they might be more generous to you. I don't know, so just put the warning in case. But we do hope to see you there.
Yeah, I would love that. That'd be, you know, fighting all over the world would be one of my dream come true. I heard they're trying to do an Ireland card next year. I don't know if COVID's still gonna be a big deal or not, but there is a fighter that trains at SVG. He fights for Bellator. I forgot his name. Not trying to call him out, but I'd love to fight him. That would be fun. I would be a reason for me to fly out there and fight somebody out there. So that'd be a great fight for us.
It will be a great. It will be a great a great card. I don't know what the scene is in Ireland right now with all the with the restrictions and stuff. But I know in the UK, in the UK, of course we got we are one of the first the first country to get the vaccine. So you know, we're rolling that vaccine out now. So you know, if you can, you know, so the UK might be more optional for the Bellator instead of Ireland. You know, depending when they are showing it and see how things are looking in Ireland and of course the UK, because the UK might be a better option to host it, because of course we've got a better chance of getting things more back to normal now with this vaccine rollout over here. And I believe you're next as well, aren't you? I believe in the next coming days or so. Could be today, could be early next week before you guys start to get the vaccine.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, who knows at this point? The world's crazy, so whenever they get things going back to normal or as close to normal it is, I'm on board.
And I want to ask you as well, because the last time you fought as well, you had fans in the building, didn't you? Before the 9-month gap before you could return. Yep. I was going to say not from October or September. So I bet that was quite different, you know, without anybody cheering for you, getting behind you when you come into the ring and it's like to the cage and drawing the fights when you're like, ooh, you know, kind of thing. All the reactions from the audience, I bet that was different as well.
It was very different. I actually really like it. You know, I wouldn't mind if this was fighting from now on.
Really?
To be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. There's something about it that really makes makes the fight feel very different. It's much more darker in there, like darker. The vibe is darker, you
Yeah.
know, like it almost feels like it really is mano y mano. Like it's me versus you. I can hear everything he's I can hear like his coaches yelling to him whatever, you know, whatever instruction
Yes.
it is. I can hear his breathing. I can hear when I hit I land a very nice strike, or I can feel like it's just the energy. You can feel the energy coming off of your opponent, and you know, I think that's something I benefit from. I believe, like at one point on my fight, I felt like there was a point where one of my opponent didn't want to be in there, and I could feel it from him. So
Wow.
the energy is so much more enhanced without the crowd, because the crowd can blind you to so many
True, that
senses.
is
You know.
true. That is true. I agree there. But I'm surprised because all the people I've spoken to on this show, they all say they miss the fans. They can't wait for fans to return. But not you. You're the opposite. This is good because we finally got an alternative argument for why fans should not be back in the arenas in the combat world, to say. Because I agree, because you get to hear every punch, every kick. You get to hear what the coaches are shouting to each other, and even you can hear it. So it means you can try and counter that before it even happens as well, which is very different and very new, because it's like maybe only in practice matches you may get that feel, but you know, in actual fights, you don't really get that opportunity because of the loud fans, you know, crowd, you know, all the chanting and all the pounding and all that good stuff. So it is quite good. That, and I want to know as well, when you're, you know, backstage, you know, waiting for your fight, do you speak to other fighters backstage, or do you just stay in your own little bubble, and just concentrate on last minute things to get ready for your fight?
Yeah, I like to kind of be secluded. I'll just hang out with my coaches. Usually, once my hands are wrapped, my switch turns on. I just go quiet. I don't really say much. I sit in a corner and just hang out till I gotta warm up. And yeah, I'm not really the most uh, out there person when it comes to once the wraps come on. So, and I just kind of focus.
That's fair. That's fair. Because because you know, I don't know if you know this person or not, but there's a Bellator athlete in the Bellator who is still undefeated. I think he's a heavyweight. So I don't know. You two will probably never cross paths, unless in a dream match where you could do that, and that'd be quite a good match. But his name is Jake Hager. I don't know if you know who he is, or if you met him or whatnot. But you're nodding, so I'm guessing you've heard his name. I'm guessing you might have met him, maybe.
I think he was the fight before me on the October card.
Okay, that's good. He did fight in October.
He
Did fight in October, so you probably
yeah,
are
I think he
correct.
fought in October. That's that wrestling
Yes.
dude, right? Yeah, yeah. He was the fight before me on the October card. I didn't meet him, but I got to hang out with a couple of his cornermen. He's actually managed by the same guy as me.
Oh wow,
So.
okay, that's interesting. Because you know because like yourself, because you got this switch. You turn from this nice guy here talking to me and talking to you, and then as soon as he comes to the cage, that switch turns and he comes into this little angry little fighter guy. And Jake Hager, you know, as you probably seen from his face, he gets very aggressive and into a completely different person when he gets into that octagon and into that cage, and he becomes a completely different person, and it likes he owns that cage, just like you do when you've won your fights as well.
Yeah, I believe, there's not a lot of people that have that switch. It's like, I think there's more to fighting just being a fighter or being able to train every day and fight. I think you got to be a different kind of animal. There's got to be a different kind of animal in you to be able to fight and continue to fight as many times as a lot of these other guys. You look at guys like Cowboy Cerrone, like dude fights every opportunity he gets a chance, and you can see that switch turn on. I mean, I think the man that gets in there with no fear is usually the one that comes out on top. And if you fight like you got nothing to lose every time, and you just, you go out there and take wins rather than just do enough just to win, I think those are the guys that become very successful in this sport. And guys like me, like I have 2 losses, but those my 5 knockout wins were because I was the man that I had no fear. I just wanted to get in there, and I wanted to take what's mine.
You did, and I do hope that you're able to bring that switch back once you're able to return to the ring, because that would be great and get you back into the zone of just getting that knockout or just getting a TKO, whatever it may be, just to get another win and make it 6-2 and just carry on. Let nobody else get past you. Just get past them and get to the championship as well. But I mean, like, as you say, as well, certain people can do the switch. Not many people can do so. Now, of course, yourself are just concentrating on one sport. Now, a lot of people, they concentrate on 2 sports. Do you think it's a good idea to do so? Do you think that they should only choose one sport to focus in?
I've been told this when I first started fighting. One of my coaches, and even Brad Tavares, my buddy, like, he's been in the game much longer than I have, and one of the things he's told me is, like, this is one of those sports you have to give all of you, 110% of it. And if the moment your mind gets slightly distracted, that's when you start taking away from how much you could grow in this sport. And I think I have nothing against people doing, 2 different sports, but I believe this is one of those things, or one of these sports where you have to focus on it entirely. And the moment you get distracted is, that could be the one moment you get knocked out in a fight. So for me, I'd much rather be 100% in this and nothing else.
Yeah,
it's a short career, so I'd rather give it my all than have any regrets.
That's fair. Fair play to you. And of course, now you mentioned about a minute ago before that, good advice as well. I like that advice, and I'm sure other people will hopefully agree with you, or maybe have different opinions about what that is, or maybe even other fighters as well. They might all come up to you and say, yeah, you shouldn't have said that, or I agree with you about that, kind of thing. But I will say this, of course. Now, of course, since you know Jake Hager's ring crew, you never know, you might get an invitation from Jake Hager to be a guest of his at the Day's place in Florida for the AEW on TNT. Get your name out there more, maybe, if he invites you. Would you accept if he did?
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? I like taking, when people offer me, an opportunity to do things and meet people, I like to say yes. I don't really tell people no, because sometimes I feel I don't want to be disrespectful as well. If someone asks you to be somewhere, I like to take it as they want you to be there. So I try not to say no unless I have an actual reason to.
Sure. But I mean, the reason I asked, because Jake Hager, is a bad man. Not just in the cage, but also in AEW. He's a part of a huge group, of course, in the Bellator. That's unheard of, but in the ring, yeah, he's one of the baddest men in the Bellator and in the ring, and he's got a group which he associated himself with called the Inner Circle, and they beat people up every week. And I'm just saying, if you ever did get invited by him, he might decide to beat you up with his gang.
Oh, hey, I mean, I'm into it, especially if I'm getting paid a little extra. Sure, why not?
Oh my word! I can't believe you said yes. I thought you might say absolutely not. I'm going to knock him all out. I thought you might have said that, but okay, I like it. It means you're not bothered.
Yeah, extra money to knock me out, I'm fine with it. That's cool.
That's fair. Well, you got to make it happen. Let's see you on AEW. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, Jay Hager. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Because that will probably be the only time where you two could meet is in that world, because of course you're a middleweight, he's a heavyweight. Never happened in the battle, but it could happen in the ring.
I don't know. I'm getting kind of hefty right now, so with this injury, I might make my way up to
that'd be great. That'd be great if you move your way to heavyweight. That would be a dream fight, between you and Jake Hager. That would be great, Like, could you end his knockout, end his defeating streak in the Bellator? And I think you could. It'd be great if it happens.
puts his face in front of my fist, he might have to.
Oh yes, but it is a bloody sport, isn't it? You know, kind of thing. And there's been a lot of bleeds and a lot of blood on the cage. But I know one person who I do like from the Bellator as well is like the Mike Goldberg. He is a phenomenal commentator to the Bellator. I'm glad that the Bellator hired him a few years ago because you know it's I like when he says "Here we go," you know, kind of thing. Great tagline, I have to say.
Yeah, awesome. You know, even just his energy.
Yes.
When I love it. It's great. It's great to have somebody with such a big name and icon in the sport be there, you know, to commentate and watch you, you know, live. And
has he ever spoke to you?
I spoke to him briefly back in Hawaii when I fought on the Bellator Hawaii card when I made my debut.
Nice.
Just real brief, like, hi, nice to meet you. Wasn't anything crazy, but yeah, he said he was looking forward to watching me fight, and it's cool. That really made me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they were one of the biggest names in the in the world of MMA. You know, wanted to make sure he gets to see your fight in person. So I hope that you get to spend some time with him in the future. I mean, because he's seen a lot of fights over the years, and I'm sure he could critique you to make you even better as well. And I know you've had a lot of different coaches who you've approached and worked with, and you posted something on your Instagram. And so which ones have been the most influential to you so far in your career?
Eric Nixick, he manages here over at Extreme. He's been with me for majority, I'd say, almost my whole career. You know, he's cornered me as an amateur, and even when I turned pro and I wasn't making any money, making $700 for a fight, like, he'd fly out to my fight, not ask me for a penny, you know, and he just was always there for me, no questions asked. He just said, he's like, we got a date, I'm there, you know. And he works with me day in and day out whenever he's not busy with his kids. And you know, he really gives his you know, his 100% to his fighters, especially the ones he believes in. You know, he believes, and you know, for me to have him in my corner, I'm undefeated with him in my corner as well. So you know, the 2 times I've lost, he wasn't in my corner.
There we go. Now we know why it is.
Yeah.
He is your lucky charm. That's why it is.
Yeah. You know, something about our relationship, you know, it gives me a little extra fire when I go out and fight. Hearing his voice makes me feel even more comfortable as a fighter. So, you know, I'd give him a lot of the credit for where I'm at as an in my career. I'd give him majority of the credit besides my training partners, you know, and Ray Seffel.
Yeah, sorry. I was just. I thought you were. I didn't know you finished your sentence. Like I was just seeing you flicking something else. I thought you were interrupted.
No, I was making sure my wasn't turning off because it just went dark.
Oh right, got you. That's fair enough. Of course, as well, you mentioned that great person, and of course, he is he sounds like a cool guy. You know, he just comes and supports you when he can, and he seems like a nice guy because he seems like he doesn't want you to fork out any money to bring him to fights to see you in person. So that is quite a good guy. But you've got to bring him to every fight now, though. That's the thing, because he's your lucky charm.
Yeah,
you know,
we had that talk after this last fight, because when I moved to California, fought in Hawaii, I lost. He wasn't there, and then I lost in October because he caught COVID and he couldn't come out to the fight. So we were talking about it after, and I was like, you know what, we're not doing this again. I'm not having you not in my corner for any forward. This, like, it has to be a thing.
Well, that's good. Well, I do hope he will take that on board and say once he's able to be with you, I'm sure he will. And I do hope that he's doing well now after his COVID diagnosis. I hope he's doing better now.
He's much better now. Yeah, we were even trying to push, trying to have him out, like, to fly out very last minute just to be out in my corner for that last fight, but we didn't want to risk it, so we just decided. I was like, hey, I'll just go to war. It's fine. I got this. But
That's fair. That's fair. Of course, you had some other. I think you've also met some other great UFC fighters as well, haven't you? Who have gave you a lot of knowledge as well.
yeah, yeah. You know, I'd say my two main training partners here that I've had is Uriah Hall and Brad. You know, and those two guys I've helped for many camps the most. You know, they're both middleweights as well, very high level middleweights, top 15 middleweights almost their whole career. And you know, even when I was an amateur, I was sparring those guys, and so like Eric has always told me, you know, my gym experience is equivalent to, you know, a lot of these fighters that's way ahead of me in the sport, and I believe it. You know, I'm much better than a lot of people at this period of my career than a lot of other people would be. You know, so I owe it a lot to my training partners. I couldn't do this without them.
Oh, again, you know, without that, we wouldn't have, as you were getting 5 knockout wins either. So, you know, so we can say, oh, thank you to them as well, you know. So without them, you wouldn't be as far as you would be without their knowledge and their support and their advice and such. We do have mentioned that before where we move on, because I've not done this yet, is to actually plug your social medias. You can find my guest, Ty Gwerder, on Twitter, underscore though, in the middle of both his names, on Twitter and Instagram. They're on the screen for you right now, because they've been on the screen throughout the show as well, at certain times. And of course, he's got a bigger following on Instagram, of over 5,000 followers there. Hopefully you can help him to grow to maybe 10,000 followers or more than that. And
nice.
And hopefully you can help him go on Twitter as well to get like 5,000 followers on Twitter as well. So if you can support him, because there are going to be big things of TY over in the next year, as hopefully, if nothing else happens with restrictions and such, hopefully we can see big things happen for you and get some more wins under your belt into 2021 here. But I mean, like, who can you hook us up on this show? Because when I reached out to you about it, I want to say this as well. I actually DM'd you, didn't I, on Instagram? No, I didn't. Sorry, not on Instagram. I contacted you the normal way, the way I want to do it, and I thank you for responding to me via email. What was it that enticed you to come on the show?
You know, I enjoy doing these podcasts. You know, one, it also, you know, gives me a little more exposure. And then, you know, like other podcasts trying to grow, and you know, it's hard to find guests. You know, I've come across people where they don't want to do it just because some podcast isn't a big deal or whatever it is, you know, and it goes hand in hand. You know, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I help you get a guest, and you know, you grow and you help me grow. So, you know, I'm always excited to do these things and, you know, show people who I am. And you know, I'm more than just a fighter,
yes,
like anybody else that fights. So if you want to get to know me a little more, like, feel free to contact me and shoot me a message if you got any question. I like to answer questions and messages from anyone, and you know, I'm glad to help and give you an understanding of who I am.
Yeah, I agree with that, and we appreciate you for accepting to come on the show, because again, some people, as you say, some podcasts, you know, it's very hard to find guests for, including mine, because I think it's always because I don't put questions in my email. I used to, but then I thought, why not? Because my questions come on the day of the show, so I don't want to surprise people. I don't want to give them a warning of what I'm going to ask them. I'm going to wait till the day, kind of thing. I think your phone was going off.
Yeah.
Was that you?
Doesn't sound so scripted.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's more like a relaxing conversation where it's you know, unedited, uncut, you know, and you know, we can go wherever you want to go, kind of thing. So it's more like a relaxing conversation. But again, some people might get a bit tense because they might want to know the questions. But that's what I thought. But again, from listening to your opinion there, I kind of more agree with what you say now.
Yep, it's I like it. I can, you know, it's kind of how I grew up. We just sit around the barbecue and just ask a whole bunch of questions, and you know, just whole bunch of random conversations about God
Yeah,
knows what.
exactly. And again, on this show, there's no script. I don't have no script in front of me what I'm going to ask you, by the way. So it's not like I'm meeting up a script or, some bullet notes. These are coming from my head. I'm able to ad lib here on the Fowler Show because that's what some podcasters can't really do. They just have a list of what they want to do as well. So it's quite good. He is still on the show, by the way. He's just turning his camera off. But just in case people thought, oh, what's happening here? Why can't we see a blue screen?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm getting a phone call. It might be my truck getting done. My other truck getting done at the shops.
We'll wrap this up anyway. But I mean, like, my last question to you here is, if you can answer it quickly, if we may get a phone call, hopefully.
Yeah.
Is who do you think will be interested in coming on the show next? Because one of your friends actually followed me on Instagram yesterday. So that's nice of him. Is it called Diamond Dynasty?
Oh, Diamond Dynasty? Yeah, go. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's another one of the guys that follow me, and we it's from Hawaii as well.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead and hit him up. I can send a couple people to you. I'll ask around, and I got a couple guys that like being on, like doing this stuff too. So I'll go ahead and send them your contact, and they can reach out to you.
Yes, because as I would say to you as well, because I want to know as well before we end this as well. I can see there's somebody behind your truck. I can see. Yeah, bizarre. This is live. Anything can happen live on my show. We've had many things happen on the show before over the live. Are you on a beach or somewhere?
No, I'm actually right outside of the gym.
Oh, right, okay. Because the background, it looks like you've got the sunny skies, and then you're like behind a beach, kind of thing. But
I wish there was a beach here. That's nice.
There we go. And I was going to say before we got interrupted by the lady behind you there, whoever she may be. I was going to say
that.
Okay.
That's actually Casey O'Neill. She just got signed by the UFC as well.
Well, there you go. Casey O'Neill making a cameo appearance here on the Fowler Show. You might want to tell her that she was actually caught on camera there, and that she might not like it. But there you go. It's all live, unscripted. So there we go. So there you go. A future UFC fighter who just got signed recently just made a cameo appearance here on the Fowler Show. We can now technically say she was on the show. So thank you very much for that. But I was going to say, though, that last year we had on Mike the Truth Jackson, who was a former UFC fighter who fought CM Punk and he knocked him out, or whatever it was. We then had on Ewan Adams, I think his name was. Ewan Adams was on the show last year as well, UFC guy. I think that's what his name was. And we also had on, I'm going to quickly go back because it was over a year ago, so apologies for this. I can't remember every single name, but I know who they are. It would take me a minute to go through this, but there we go. So yeah, we had Ewan Adams on, and then we had on Eric Anders, also on the show.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know Eric.
Very cool guy, and we had a great conversation here last year on the show. Very cool guy. Just thought to mention them names in case you may forward me their info, like, well, yeah, them on the show kind of thing. But yeah, there we go. But there you go. There's some few names I had there, and maybe you can get people from your gym on the show. Like instantly just behind you a minute ago, kind of thing. I mean, like, you kind of be on the show.
Yeah.
You can't.
I'll send over some fun people for you to talk to.
That'd be great. And I do hope your truck, your other truck, wherever it is ready for the road now as well. Because how many trucks do you have? Because we saw glimpses of your truck in this show when you dropped your camera.
Well, I'm Casey's truck right now. She's letting me borrow it. So
got you.
My actual truck is in the shop, so it's getting a little work done.
Okay, fair enough. So make sure to say thank you to Casey for lending your truck for the lovely scenery in our truck, because we did see a few things from a truck in this episode. So there we go. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and I do hope you'll come back on again.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Just whenever you want me to come back on, just shoot me a message. It would be
great. It'd be what's best for business, because now you've been on an international show. I don't know if you've been on any other foreign shows outside of the US. So if
Yeah,
you have, it's great.
Fowler. I like the UK fans. They're one of my favorite fans. They're just so so positive about the sport, and they're just super energized when it comes to fighting.
Yeah.
It's
The nearest passionate people we can get to is one of the biggest MMA fighters is across the pond in Ireland. Conor McGregor, of course, he's probably the biggest in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But yeah, anytime you want me on, just go ahead and message me.
Great.
I look forward to it.
We look forward to it again, and thank you again for coming on the show. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I think it's afternoon now, isn't it?
Yep. Afternoon, gonna hang out for a little bit and watch some sparring.
Nice. Well, enjoy your sparring, and there'll be a clip coming out tomorrow on Instagram and Twitter of a clip of this show with you, just to entice people to check it out. I might include a clip of having Casey on the show, a cameo appearance of that. Maybe, who knows what I might include. But it'll be available tomorrow on my social media if you want to see a clip of today's show. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you again.
Yes. Bye for now.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
So that was Ty Gwerder there, and that was a very interesting episode. I think again, I can't wait for my end of year video. It's got even better now. We got a cameo from Casey there, who got recently signed to the UFC. We also had a few bloopers where he dropped this camera onto the in the seat and around the car. So, that's even great. And we've got more unique people in the background making cameo appearances, which is fantastic. What else can you get more of the Fowler Show? That's why we do it at this time of day, in the prime time here on YouTube at this time of day, because you don't know, the unexpected can happen as well. We hope you enjoyed this edition of the Fowler Show. Again, we might have more people coming on the show yet. Who knows? If there is, we look forward to that in December. If not, however, we will definitely have another video in December on New Year's Eve of the year. It has been on the Fowler Show, where we will bring you all the shows we brought to you this year, and some of my favorites, some people I might have forgot about because it's gone so fast this year. I can't believe we're in December already. I hope you enjoyed the Christmas music at the start of the stream. I thought I'd get a bit more Christmassy at this time of the year. But for more, we'll see you from the Fowler Show. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening or afternoon. And until the next episode drops, enjoy your day. Let's see.